What's up, my PT peeps? One Eye Bri back to talk about The Walking Dead and what side are you on? Team Negan or Team Rick? We'll talk about which side I'm on and why it makes sense, and really just a general discussion. Spoiler warning about Negan, Rick, Season 7, comic book stuff, general spoiler warning about The Walking Dead. Like I said, if you don't want to know, stop watching now. I don't want to ruin anything for you guys because we're going to talk about Season 7, and here we go. Now, I know what side I'm on. How about you? Let us know in the comments. Rick or Negan? Now, let's talk about a couple things which might persuade someone to be on either side, but you got your mind made up by now, right? So if you're Team Negan, I think you're a comic book fan. I think you know Negan outside of the show so far. I think he is better in the comic than on the show so far. We'll see how it goes down. But Negan is the leader of the Saviors, and he is a dictator. He is not a democracy kind of guy. It's his way or the highway. If you break his rules, you're going to get broken. Now, there are a lot of Saviors. There are more Saviors than anything, so he's doing something right? He's doing something in the lines of that. So if you were a Savior, you'd be one of these people. I wouldn't think you would be a commander. You wouldn't be a lieutenant. You wouldn't be something like that. You would be one of those, most likely. And that goes for showing it. If you were going to be a Simon or a Dwight or a Fat Joey even, you would probably like the Saviors, right? Because you have perks of the job. Simon's got some pretty big perks. He can kind of do whatever the hell he wants. But if you were a low person on a totem pole, you might not really like it. Now, that depends on what it would be in a lot of circumstances, but let's think about a worst case scenario. If you would want to be the worst case and the lowest person of the Saviors versus the lowest case scenario or lowest person in the Survivors, what would be worse? And this is all make-believe, of course, because there are no Saviors and there are no Survivors. There is no Rick or Negan. This is comic book stuff. But imagine if you were Mark. You got your face burned. He's got your wife. Amber is one of Negan's wives that used to be your girlfriend. Or if you were Dwight. Imagine if you were Dwight, or in the case, a similar character like that. Dwight, he's at the mercy of Negan. Negan's got you by the balls, literally, and he's got your wife. Imagine you walk in, and every time you see it, he's rubbed it in your face that he makes out with your wife. He has sex with your wife. He does everything with your wife. He's got one of these would be your wives, right? Possibly. But if that would really bother me. I wouldn't be cool with that. Rick has none of that situation going on there, too. And ultimately, we know from the comics that Negan's demise is his arrogance and his over-the-topness and really pissing off Dwight too much. Now, if you're Team Rick, you probably see the world in a very different light right now in Season 7, but just as a whole. Rick, he's not a democracy anymore going into Season 3, into Season 3. But, he changed that with the council and all that, and he's kind of a person of the people. He has a democracy approach to it. He wants to do things his way, but he is open to some suggestions, by the way. Not all the time. He's going to do what he wants, and that's okay, because a lot of times it's worked out, except when they went against the Saviors and the compound because of their deal with the Hilltop to take the Saviors out, which I can understand, and that's really the only reason you would be against Rick if you were a Savior, is because what happened here at the compound after the deal with Hilltop. They went in there, guns a-blazing, taking out a bunch of Saviors. So if you were a Savior, you're looking at it, man, these guys went in, killed a bunch of our people for no damn reason, evidently. So, of course, we're going to be against Rick and the Survivors, but as we know from our end, that he was just trying to get rid of Negan and a threat. But if you were one of these people, you would see things differently versus the Saviors, and that's the beauty of it. The Saviors view the point of view and the Survivors' point of view. But I'd rather live in Alexandria myself versus the Sanctuary. Alexandria seems like a better place there. But again, if you were a Spencer, depends on the role or the perception that you see Rick. If you were a Spencer, you probably hate Rick. He's got your whole family killed. When they came there, life was great before this guy showed up. The Alexandrians that are still alive might not like Rick all the way, but the Survivors are Team Rick for sure. And I could see that as being an attribute to the group because Rick's open to suggestions. But like I said, when Morgan was going against him, when you should have just talked to him, which looks to be the hindsight looking back would have been better, but Rick gets his hands dirty. I don't see Negan get his hands too dirty on there, except when he has the upper hand. Rick went in there, guns a-blazing, going against this when it shouldn't have been doing what he did. He went against all these walkers and then got the Alexandrians and group together. So Team Rick, Team Negan, what side are you on? Right now the Saviors are bullies. They go in there, they take half your crap, really all your crap. They say half, but they take all of it, which is way out of line. But remember, karma's a bitch. You're going to get what you give in this world and in any world. So we'll see how it goes down. But like I said, what side are you on? Rick, Negan, I myself are Team Rick. And I would want to be a survivor versus a savior. I would want to be on this end taking Negan out. Because eventually you know it has to happen, right? The bad guys are winning right now. But the good guys eventually got to get back on top, and it's going to be great when it does on the show, guys. So that's just a general discussion. Let us know what you think. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just a matter of point of view. Check out our community on Facebook. We got links in the description if you want to just go directly there. As always, thank you for watching, guys. You guys are awesome. Let us know what you think. Team Negan, Team Rick, whose side are you on?